With me now is NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jesse. We know that more than 100,000 are expected to march through the convention. What's being done in terms of legal aid and bail funds if there are arrests? Because we did hear Mr. Abadea say that, hey, we're ready.
So, look, the idea of bail funds is not new in this country, and on the face of it, they're not per se illegal. Usually they're set up for low-income defendants who don't have the money to make bail. Where it gets potentially problematic is if you are setting up bail funds for people that you know are going to break the law. Because on one hand, you could say, well, why are you setting up a bail fund for peaceful protesters? They shouldn't get arrested. But if you know that they're going to break the law, or there's a likelihood that they're going to break the law, whether it's violating zoning permits, or they're obstructing an investigate police operations, or they're rioting, or they're breaking the law in some way. We're talking about right now where they are allowed to actually protest. If they step out of that, that's where it becomes problematic. You know, I remember, I think it was last year, the Georgia Attorney General had indicted numerous people who actually protested a police training center, and the bail fund organizers were actually charged with money laundering. Now, it's kind of a different scenario, but if you set up a bail fund where the funds are not being used properly, or if they're actually being used to, in a way, finance illegal operations, that's where you get in trouble. Not saying that's happening here, but that's exactly some of the things that could be potentially problematic.
Jesse, what kind of advice do you think they're getting ahead of this, the DNC? What kind of legal advice are they getting? Because they clearly seem intent on doing the march. What legal lessons did the protesters learn from that campus demonstration earlier this year?
Well, right now, there's nothing. Look, everybody has a constitutional right to protest. And the judge who just issued this order out in Chicago didn't say they don't have a right to protest if they keep it within certain limits. In the law, we call it time, manner, and place restrictions on speech. It's content neutral. In other words, it doesn't matter whether you're an anti-Israel protester or a pro-Israel protester, right? These are restrictions that are put in place because of security concerns. I believe there was reporting that they are concerned that emergency personnel would not be able to get closer to the convention if the protesters were allowed closer to the area. So as long as they do not step out of where the judge allowed them to go, they won't get in trouble. Now, they are going to appeal this. I think they're going to try to seek an emergency appeal within the next 5 days. We'll see where that goes. But if this is what's set up and they do have certain permits that are laid out, they can't go past that. That's probably the advice that they're getting at this point.
And Jesse, because there's so much planning ahead of time, do you see things working differently at the DNC compared to the campus protest earlier this year?
Well, it's a different kind of operation, and I think you're dealing with it on a large scale versus a confined space of a campus. You're now dealing with a larger area, and it's going to ultimately be up to these protesters to make sure they are not violating the letter of the law. And clearly, one of the questions is, who is organizing it? Who's behind this? Very hard to say, Nick. I mean, I know there was reporting from months ago that the protesters that were actually blocking traffic, they might have been backed by a left-wing group that was funded by the George Soros network. We don't know. But what I will tell you, you'd have to look at tax records, you'd have to look at bank records, you have to look at social media accounts. But what you are seeing is so many people coming to one location, which I can't emphasize this enough. The advent of social media allows people to organize and plan in a way we have never seen before. So we're going to watch with our own eyes to see the amount of people that actually come to the DNC who are not happy with the Biden administration's policies in the Middle East. And you're seeing a galvanizing of support, a lot of people coming to Chicago. So it's going to be pretty unprecedented, I think, the amount of people we see. I just hope it doesn't get violent in any way or engage in any kind of illegal behavior, because that's the last thing anybody wants to see.
I think we echo that. No one wants to see a repeat of 1968. NewsNation legal analyst Jesse Weber, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.